The C-Stand, one of the most versatile pieces of production equipment in the world. From the outside, this very trusty instrument looks harmless and simple, but in the hands of an experienced, seasoned member of the grip crew who has painstakingly learned the craft of gripping from years of 12-hour days on the set, this C-Stand becomes the hammer of Thor and the chisel of Michelangelo.
But for the rest of us, it's still just a C-Stand. Here are a few of the basics. Hopefully these pointers will help you be safe and efficient when using your C-Stand. A C-Stand or grip stand is primarily designed to be used in front of a light for holding any of the numerous light modifiers on set. Generally speaking, put a light on a light stand and put a light modifier on a C-Stand. You can use a C-Stand to hold a light, but a light stand has a much wider base and adds stability and is generally a better choice. The grip stand's base is highly designed. With a small footprint, the C-Stand can fit very close to a light stand. The base can be folded flat for storage on a cart. The staggering of the legs on the vertical axis allow for soldiering of the C-Stands. Soldering allows for neat, orderly on-set storage. If you soldier like this, you can easily grab a stand. Also, on smooth floors, you can slide the group as a whole. Most people have spring-loaded C-Stands. When you're going to deploy those legs, just look around first, lift vertically, deploy with one hand, set right back down with the other. It's generally considered bad practice to turn the C-Stand over and hit something or someone. Position. Keep in mind your perspective of the grip head because of the right hand rule. Remember the saying, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey? As you look at the grip head, imagine a vertical line from top to bottom. All loads need to be placed on the right side of the vertical line. You can imagine a grip head as an analog time clock, so loads need to be placed on the right side or from 12 noon to 6 p.m. Loads should not be placed on the left side or 6 p.m. to 12 midnight. If the load begins to fall because the knuckle is loose, the righty-tighty rule could prevent the falling. The righty-tighty setup is self-tightening, so as the load begins to fall, the force of gravity will actually tighten the grip head. However, if the load is placed on the left side of the grip head, gravity can loosen the grip head and result in failure. There are two grip heads on a Hollywood head, so be sure that you follow this rule on both heads. Let's just run through a quick in-the-field scenario with this C-Stand. I want to use this chair and assume somebody's going to sit in it, and we want to shade their head with this little black solid. We'll deploy the C-Stand, and I like to put the big leg towards the talent. Also want to put the load over the big leg, so we'll take our solid, make sure it's on the right side of the grip head, and then we also see that our load is at about 1 o'clock, so it's on the right side of this grip head, so both of these heads are safe. Lastly, we'll stick a sandbag on the top leg because that gives us the most leverage and make sure it's not touching the floor. One other note would just be, this is secondary, I also like this leg to be pointed towards the talent, because if somebody was to bump this C-Stand and knock it over, it's got a better chance of falling away from the talent on both sides. If the C-Stand was actually positioned this way, even though the load would be, right now the load's over the biggest, tallest leg, the C-Stand still could fall towards the talent. It's just something to think about. I mean, you always want to put your load over the tallest leg, but most of the time you can point that tall leg towards the talent as well. There is one more point, and the other point is actually the end of the C-Stand. It's fairly compact here. However, sometimes you'll see a situation where somebody may want to rig it this way, and let's just say that you rig the C-stand this way. This little point is close to an eye on set, and if there's any way to keep this end safer, you want to rig it that way. So as we had it rigged before, it's actually safer in this position than the position I just showed you, because obviously the point's down out of eye level. Just something else to keep in mind when you're using your C-stand. When extending a grip stand, always start with a top riser. This will save you time if you need to raise the stand higher later. For anyone who started with a bottom riser first, they'll have to lower the whole fixture and then start over again. Guess where? At the top riser. For maximum strength of the stand, when you're extending it, back it down about an inch or so and then tighten the knob securely. When you go to put your sandbag on your C-stand to make it safe, always stick it on the top leg. One, the top leg's the tallest leg and gives you the best chance of your sandbag not touching the floor and having the full weight on the C-stand. And then second, the leg positionally gives you the most leverage over the C-stand. So if you need to add another bag, stick it right on top. Just gives you that much more leverage. Another tip is to put tennis balls on your C-stand's feet. This will protect your location's floor. It will also put your homeowner's mind at ease when they see your crew members doing this. They know that you're going to take care of their property. Also, you can use tennis balls on the end of your Hollywood arm and protect the walls. Also, they're easy to see. People won't run into them that are on set, especially if that C-stand arm is up at eye level. Use tennis balls. They are fantastic for C-stands. If you're going to use a C-stand as a light stand, here are a few ways to do it. Standard, high, and menace. For standard, that's just simply taking off the grip head and using the baby pin to hold the light with the receiver. In a situation where you need more height, you would use the high setup. That's where you put the grip head back on and use the actual grip arm to give you another foot or so of height. Remember safety. You're going to have to add more sandbags. Even consider asking a crew member to Hollywood the stand. That's where they physically hold the stand and keep it safe. Finally, the menace configuration can be very useful in positioning the light or gobo over an object. Please consider a counterbalance for the load on the end of the menace arm. Once again, consider safety by adding additional weight. If you feel like the load or the height is questionable, do not proceed. As you can see, the grip stand is very, very versatile and it's very useful. I hope this video has been helpful to you, and remember, keep it safe and try to learn something new on every shoot.